Professor Norbert Weiner. Norbert Weiner was a famous professor. He was a very intelligent man. However, he was very forgetful. One day, the Weiner family was moving to another house. Mrs. Weiner knew that her husband wouldn't be much help moving, so she sent him to school while she and the movers worked together. Mrs. Weiner was sure that Professor Weiner would forget that they had moved. She wrote down their new address on a piece of paper. She gave it to him and said, "Honey, this is our new address. Don't forget."
"All right, darling,"
replied Professor Weiner as he kissed his wife goodbye. "Goodbye and have a nice day at school," said Mrs. Weiner. While at school, Professor Weiner had a great idea. He decided to write it down in case he forgot it. He reached into his pocket and took out a piece of paper. He wrote his idea down with a pencil. But of course, it was the piece of paper with his new address on it. Later, Professor Weiner looked at the piece of paper again. He read his idea. He decided it wasn't very good and threw the paper away. And yes, it was the piece of paper with the new address on it. At the end of the day, he left for home. He went to his old address. He completely forgot that his family had moved. When he got there, the house was empty. He thought about the piece of paper from that morning. He remembered that he threw it away, but he couldn't remember the address that was written on it. He thought and thought about what to do. The sun had set and he was very worried. Fortunately, he noticed a young girl playing behind the house. He walked over to the girl in the darkness and said,
"Excuse me, I'm Norbert Weiner and my family has just moved. Maybe you know where we've moved to?"
The young girl replied,
"Yes, Daddy. Mommy knew you would forget. I'll take you home now."